So there's been yet another update to the Planetside 2 public test server for what I believe is meant to be one more round of testing before the Shattered Warpgate update goes to the live servers. And the most major change this time around is now the ability to test out the new campaigns feature. This is a feature that I've been actually really looking forward to a bunch with the upcoming update. But the test has unveiled some potentially upsetting news for some players. G'day there once again viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today guys, we're going to go over the cost of campaigns and what it means for players, and leave some thoughts on them. Okay, so for those of you who hear the words campaigns and Planetside in the same sentence and are trying to connect the dots, allow me to try and provide you a bit of clarification here. In the up-and-coming Shattered Warpgate update, we're going to be getting a brand new feature that are called, you guessed it, campaigns, that are powered by a series of missions that you can complete as a player within the multiplayer environment. The goal of these campaigns is to help tell the story about the evolving war and how it's impacting the planet and the soldiers that have been fighting on said planet for the last many years. A campaign is split into multiple chapters that are time sensitive, so they cannot be utilized by the player after the cutoff time for completing said chapter, and they cannot be completed multiple times. They are, however, crafted with the intent of being completed without an extensive amount of grinding being required. You should be able to enjoy the campaigns alongside day-to-day gameplay as a way to mix up the experience a little bit. As a result, the campaigns are going to serve as an opportunity to integrate the lore into our moment-to-moment gameplay and tell a sort of live service story over time. It will be interesting to see how this impacts the growth of the game from a story perspective in the long run, and it's something I'm really looking forward to. Now, for all of those wondering, no, this is not gameplay of the campaigns in action on the public test server. I haven't chosen to jump on the PTS to test out the system myself yet because, well, quite frankly, I want to experience it on live. Story-driven content has always been something I prefer enjoying once it's fully fleshed out, so in other words, I have no gameplay of the system in action. But that's not what today's video is about. Today, I want to address the investment that is required to get into the campaign system because, look, the Planetside 2 subreddit kinda lit itself on fire when the community got their hands on the patch notes for the latest PTS update. As of right now, the Planetside 2 campaign system is going to require a cert investment to get into unless you are a member, wherein which you will have access for free. The required cert investments scale based on the battle rank of the character that is going to be participating in the campaign, and the costs are as per follows. BR 1 to 10 equals 500 certs, BR 11 to 20, 750 certs, BR 21 to 30, 1000 certs, BR 31 to 40, 1500 certs, BR 41 to 50, you guys get the idea. It's an incrementing increase of 500 certs per every 10 battle ranks, all the way up to BR 101 plus, that includes ASP characters, for a maximum cost of 5000 certs. So yeah, it's quite a sizable hit to the cert bank to participate in these campaigns, and if I understand things correctly, this is designed to work on a basis of you pay for the entry to the campaign and then you get access to all the chapters within said campaign. But please do let me know if I'm wrong there, guys. I believe that's how it's going to be working though. Despite that, that's still a pretty heavy investment that is required for just the ability to play in the campaigns and enjoy what is going to be a major part of this next update. Now, I will say that I was actually very pleasantly surprised when I saw the battle rank increments in place for the pricing. I did have a pretty big fear that the pricing would just be a flat rate across the board, which would mean that, while yes, the cost may be considered spare change to a veteran player, it would be also a rather extortionate amount for a new player. So thankfully, with the presence of the cert cost brackets, the developers have at least had that issue cross their mind and have had the intention of creating less of a disparity on that front. So for that, I do thank them. It's a step in the right direction. But there's always a but there, isn't there, guys? I do personally think that the prices are still a bit too high. Allow me to clarify my position on this, because it's far from me having a whinge about how I'm never going to be able to afford this campaign system. I pay for membership. I'm going to get access to this for free. My concern here in particular is primarily aimed towards the lower battle rank brackets. Sure, 500 or 750 certs may not seem like a lot to a player who has been in the game for years now, but it's still a pretty penny for a player who is just getting acquainted to the game. New players already have the monstrous task of working out what classes they want to cert into, what are the best upgrades for their particular playstyle, and going through a decent amount of trial and error with those precious certs to find something that does actually work for them. There's also a chance that if they survive their first session in-game, they're probably going to start looking at the guides that many members within the community have created to help them out that tell them explicitly what things to unlock first with those certs. Tack on the temptation to cert into weaponry while the community collectively shouts at them to avoid that temptation, and, well, the word daunting comes to mind once again. And now we have this new and cool campaign system that could be used as an awesome opportunity to rope those said players into the lore of the game and get them invested with some tangible objects that net them a deeper understanding of this world, and well, it can't realistically be used by those said players unless they invest 500 of their hard-earned certs into the system, which slows down their progression on gameplay and improving the combat effectiveness of their classes. And that puts them on the back foot for their progression as they continue to dive deeper into the game as time goes on. Just to clarify even further here, guys, a new player isn't going to even be able to consider trying out this system until they get to Battle Rank 5 and then choose to sink the majority of their certs into the system if they haven't spent them already. And if you decide to hold off a little longer and find yourself creeping into the BR11 and above category, you're then dropping 7 battle ranks worth of cert income on this system. Once again, that's a pretty insane portion of the total cert income you will have at that point in time of playing the game as a new player. I know the devs wanted to use this system as another cert sink for veteran players or as a membership incentive, and in the later BR tiers it does work well on that front. But in a week or so, when this update hits the live servers, we're going to have a lot of new players coming to the game to try out this new content. They're going to get in, get to BR5, invest in campaigns, and potentially stall their progression big time, hurting their ability to actually enjoy the game. New players are going to be looking for instant gratification when it comes to their cert investment. They're going to be looking for the most efficient return on investment, you know, upgrading things like the med tool, unlocking C4, or a new suit slot does this for the player. But having to invest in story content that is supposed to be a part of the headline content for this new update, I fear is going to scare off too many players from what could have been a great opportunity for bringing in some fresh blood to the community. A suggestion that I have seen for the campaign system is to be unlockable via A7, which, to be honest, is something that I wish was reserved for exceptional implant crafting, but hey, here we are, that ship has sailed. It's a fair suggestion, but it still alienates the newer players because those said players aren't going to have access to that currency, and quite frankly, there are just so many more important things out there that you should be worrying about instead of getting A7 as a currency. So, what do I propose as a solution? For me, it should be as follows. If you're a new player, then you should get the currently running campaign for free when you log in, as a way to get initially invested into the game and its lore, and to have some tangible objectives to follow. It gives those players a way to learn vehicle controls when they're navigating the continent, so on and so forth. But beyond that, there should be a cert price that scales a little bit more in favour of being an investment worth your while upgrading your gear alongside that said investment. So here's what I propose. BR 1 to 10, it only costs you 100 certs. BR 11 to 20, 250 certs. BR 21 to 30, 500 certs. BR 31 to 40, 750 certs. BR 41 to 50, 1000 certs, and from this point on, we find ourselves jumping up 500 cert costs for every 10 battle ranks, all the way up to a 4000 cert cost maximum. My main goals here were to reduce how aggressively the price grew at the lower end of the battle ranks, all the while reducing the price by a hair for the more experienced players considering the other cert sinks that are currently in the game right now. I'm looking at you, implants. At the later stages in the game, players will start to be more willing to part with a higher amount of certs to enjoy the system, all the while still inviting players to invest in a membership if they choose to save their certs for other upgrades. Yes, the developers do have to make money, guys. We can't have everything for free. Despite it being a free-to-play game, we do need to have some investment opportunities as well to keep the game running monetarily. I understand that these cert costs may still seem a little bit on the high end, but you got to keep in mind, guys, that once you get past BR 50 and above, you are going to start seeing higher cert incomes on average with your play sessions, and you're also going to see more certs sitting in your account for longer periods. And you must keep in mind that these campaigns are only going to rotate once every 3 months, I think, at this stage, which means that you only have to make this investment one in every 3 months. And quite frankly, if you're playing this game actively, you should earn enough certs at that point to go ahead and invest in the next campaign that comes along. You're also going to be rewarding yourself with certs if you complete the campaign that you're currently invested in, so there's going to be some return on investment there as well. But guys, those are my thoughts on the costs that are currently associated with the campaign system on the test server. Now, obviously, this may all be subject to change by the time the system hits live, but this is just my way of giving the devs some feedback before they hit the live server. I'm really hoping that they do especially decide to dial things down for the newer players. I just feel as though we've got a really great opportunity here to provide new players with some unique Planetside 2 content and sort of get them involved with the lore of the game to help them feel as though they're accomplishing something in their early hours, and I'd hate for that opportunity to go wasted. So I'm really hoping the devs take a good, long, hard look at this and identify a potential opportunity there as well. But guys, that is everything from me. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video, and leave some feedback in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on the campaign system and their associated costs? Do you think I'm missing the mark entirely here? Do you think I'm right on the ball? Do let me know. And also let me know what you thought of the new style of opening to the video. I still want to have some videos that have awesome gameplay at the start, but for these more conversational videos, I feel as though it's going to be a little bit more effective if we just dive straight into the commentary and then roll the intro after an opening little segment. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. As always, hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.